Hello, and I am here to talk about my monthly favorites for the month of January. Because apparently we're already a month into the new year, and that's weird. It's always weird. What else is new? It's always like, oh my god, a month has gone by. Really? Yes. Yes, a month has gone by. Again, they do that. And yeah. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I don't really have a lot of makeup favorites for this month. I mean, the semester just started and things have been hectic, and yes, I've been wearing makeup, but there hasn't been much that's like really been standing out to me. So really it's just kind of basic things. So for one, there is this Tarte MultiplEYE eyeliner that I've talked about before, but I've just really been using it more lately. I had kind of been using a lot of the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliners for a while, and as I'm getting back into using this, I really miss it because I love liquid eyeliner, and yes, I am wearing it today, and I love it. Then there is the new and scandalous Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. Don't know about the claims, but it is a very good mascara, and once again I am wearing it today, and it just gives very, very voluminous long lashes that I haven't seen to this extent from any other mascara. So currently this is a serious standout for me, and that's actually saying something because a lot of the times I don't notice that much of a difference with my mascaras. So the fact that I do notice a difference with this and it's not a bad difference is really a good thing. Then this is an eyebrow product that I am not wearing today. I should have, and I realized it after I put on my eyebrows. But I actually have quite a bit of eyebrow. I just, you know, fill in kind of sparse spaces. But anyway, this is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I'm sure many people have already heard about this, and it is in the shade Brunette. Today I am wearing the Revlon Brow Fantasy in Brunette, and while I like it, it's a little too warm, I feel. I mean, eyebrows in general I find are ashy toned, and my hair is not that warm. I mean, I have kind of warmer hair. I have like red highlights kind of naturally, but they're not like that warm, and so having really warm eyebrows kind of bothers me. So I really like this. My final real makeup item is this Illamasqua Naked Rose blush, and I've noticed that I've really been wearing it with pretty much every look this month, and it's a very natural looking kind of powdery, wow, that was a dust cloud, losing my train of thought, blush that it's a nice pink. It's kind of a warmer pink, and since I'm warmer, it is once again more natural than a lot of more cool toned pinks would be. So this has just been a great choice, I think, when I want to have a more natural face, which a lot of the time I do. Really quick, I'm just going to talk about my Burt's Bees lip balm, and this is the hydrating formula with coconut and pear, and I really have been enjoying this for my really dry lips. While I usually prefer the normal Burt's Bees formula, I find that this can be better sometimes, since the normal Burt's Bees just sometimes doesn't quite feel moisturizing enough. It feels like it's kind of repairing damage, but then it still sometimes leaves my lips kind of lacking. So I've been really enjoying this when that just isn't enough. Now I'm going to go into skincare. So first up, I have Lush's Ultra Bland Cleanser. Now this is supposed to be a normal facial cleanser, but I tend to prefer it for just taking off my makeup as opposed to really cleansing with it, because sometimes I feel like it's still a little too heavy and it leaves my skin a little too greasy. So I like to take my makeup off with this and then go over with something else so my skin doesn't have that greasy feeling, because while I have dry skin, I still do break out really easily, and I am very conscious about that feeling. And then is my heavy duty sort of moisturizer, and this is the Dior Hydra moisturizer with SPF 15. I don't like having a bunch of things, so I don't like having a separate sunscreen, even though I know generally you should, but this at least has SPF 15, so when I go out, I mean, it's the middle of winter, so it's at least not as bad, but this keeps my skin, you know, safe from all the sun rays to whatever extent, and it also keeps it very nice and hydrated. This is a nice moisturizer as it keeps my skin very soft feeling as opposed to greasy or oily or anything like that. But it is definitely too much for the summer, because I've noticed during the summer I am more likely to break out and just get oily quickly, while during the winter and just as the weather isn't, you know, 80 plus degrees out, it just doesn't really produce that much oil. I have just a couple more things to show you. First is this Body Shop Hemp hand protector, and it smells kind of weird, but it's really been helping just within a week or so. With my thumb gets very dry and cracked, and it's kind of starting to do it again, but nowhere near to the extent that it was before, and I haven't been using it as much last day because I got lazy. But it's just, it'll start cracking and being really bad and painful, but since I started using this, that hasn't been happening. And then the other thing is also from the Body Shop, and ew, feet, but it's the Peppermint Intensive Foot Rescue, which I heard Essie from Essie Button talk about this, and my feet had been getting really rough, so I decided to try it. And you can make faces and say ew, feet all you want. I really don't see what the big deal is, as long as I'm not like sticking my foot in your face. But yeah, that's a thing. I like this. So real quick, I'm going to talk about a disappointing product, which after having done a whole, you know, series on this, I'm sure people will be very surprised or confused, but you know, using it for that month just kind of helped me to really, you know, come up with an opinion on this, and it is the Urban Decay Vice 2 palette. I know that a lot of people really like this, and I really wanted to like it. I mean, look at this case. It's really cool looking, and it does that. And yeah, and some of the colors are so pretty, but it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad palette. It's fairly diverse, and you know, it's nice, but I did have problems with a decent amount of shades, had quite a bit of fallout, or they just were really not easy to work with. For example, this Betrayal color I loved, but it was so patchy, you can't even see. So this Betrayal character, ugh. For example, this Betrayal color, which I loved, it was so sheer and patchy and just didn't, you know, wasn't what I wanted it to be. Not to mention, there's so many dark colors in here that it just seems kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's nice to have a black. That's always a nice color to have, but it's also not very unique. I really like this dark brown. That's less seen, at least, so you know, that would have been more interesting to have instead of that and the black. And then there's the really dark blue and this green color, which is different but not that different from Damaged and the black. And it's just so many like near black colors that I mean, it's nice to have all the colorful colors and then the wearable, you know, neutrals in one place, but it just disappointed me. There needed to be less dark colors. And yeah, I mean, you know, everybody goes on about not enough mattes, which is another thing, but I'm just plus the chunky weird colors that have 5 million tons of fallout and not much color payoff. It's just it's not where it should be, and I'm very sad. I'm very sad that I bought it now. And I was so excited, and then it just died. Especially while I was using it for my, you know, looks and everything. Just, I don't know what to say. It was a sad, sad time. Really quick, I'm just going to touch on a couple games that I've been playing. First up, we have Ni no Kuni, which is what I've been playing on my PS3, and I really like it, and I definitely recommend it for anybody who likes RPGs and Studio Ghibli, because this is basically a Studio Ghibli game, and that's pretty cool because you don't really see that very often. And yeah, I've heard a lot of people complaining that this game is really grindy, and it kind of can be, but I don't know, to me it's just not that bad. Maybe it's how I play video games generally, but the worst part is, like, if you kind of evolve your little characters, you then have to get them back up to the level that they were, or else they're going to suck, and that does get annoying, but in general, it's still a really good game, and something that I recommend, and I need to finish this very soon, because Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13-3, comes out February 11th, and I'm going to definitely have to play that, and I don't want this getting in the way. Speaking of Final Fantasy, I also finally finished Final Fantasy 3 for the DS, and this game was angering me at the end because I'm stupid and unobservant. I didn't realize that you needed to beat the 4 Guardians or whatever before finally beating the Cloud of Darkness in order to actually beat the Cloud of Darkness. And I died the first time, and I was just like, what happened? I thought I was supposed to beat it this time. And then it turned out that that was it. So, yeah, it left me feeling pretty stupid, but it wasn't a bad game. Not one of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time or anything, but it was pretty good. I think this was the first one with Sid in it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, or was it 2? I think it was 3. I don't think there was a Sid in 2. I don't know, but yeah, I liked it. Speaking of my iPad, well, it's an iPad mini, but this also has to be a favorite because I've really been enjoying it, and I used to think that iPads are stupid, so I feel kind of weird saying that now, but I really enjoy it, especially like first thing in the morning when I don't want to turn on my computer yet, so I just sit and watch YouTube videos on here while waking up, because that's really what I do before class in the morning. And then I'm late to Japanese. Anyway, I also like it when I'm working on things on my computer and I want to watch something online, because I find it very difficult to have like a dual screen or anything, have something that I'm working on one side and the other stuff on the other, because it's just too much and my workspace winds up being too small. And this way I can just kind of set it up somewhere a little off to the side, watch whatever, and work, because I like to watch things when I work on a lot of things, just because sometimes it can be really tiring and it helps to pass the time along depending on what I'm working on. if I'm just working on, you know, schedule designs, things like that, or if I'm editing photos, because editing photos is kind of a streamlined process. I generally know what I'm doing and can just do it without too much thought. This is great for videos, movies, whatever. I like watching things on it. Of course, I can't do like subtitles because then I get too involved in staring at the screen. But, you know, normal TV shows, I love watching things on here. And, like, I was just watching White Collar when I was working on something for class. And I was glad because I needed something to watch. Yeah. And then I also went to go see Frozen this month, which I don't go see a lot of movies very often. But I kept hearing things and I really wanted to go see it. So I did. And I loved it. That is also definitely a favorite. And I even got mugs. I have an Elsa mug. I also have an Anna mug somewhere around here, but it looks kind of messy because it had hot chocolate in it not long ago. And this had tea in it, but tea is far less messy. And yeah, so I've been kind of Frozen obsessed if you have not seen on my Tumblr. And if you know, haven't seen on my Tumblr, you should totally go check out my Tumblr. I'll link it right here. Shameless self-promotion. Anyway, and then from the movie, I also have to say that my favorite song is, of course, Let It Go, because that's like everybody's favorite. I mean, that's not why it's my favorite song, but it does seem to be a very popular song right now. But yes, that's a very beloved thing currently. Also, the Do You Want to Build a Snowman, because it's adorable, and how can you not just, yeah. Anyway, so speaking of tea, just really quick, I don't have it here currently, but just I've been really liking vanilla rooibos tea, which is very weird for me because I'm usually not a huge fan of rooibos, but I think it's something with the cold, and it's a very warm kind of flavor, and I don't know, I've just been really liking it lately, and yeah, that's really all that I have to say. Which rooibos is not a tea technically, it's a tea substitute, but yeah, I mean, tea places generally sell it, and it's a tea, damn it. So if you'd like to keep up with me, my link for my blog is definitely going to be below. That's, you know, all of my daily makeup looks and everything. Like, this will be on there and whatever else. My Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, whatever, you know. If you want to follow me on any of those things, I would be very happy. And that is it. Next week I will definitely have an empties video for you, which is a very short empties video, but it's an empties video. Anyway, bye!